I'm planning on building the brand of Bernard Hopkins on the positive side and sending the message to the young kids and even the older kids and the older people that you can do things without cheating. You can do things without taking a shortcut. There's a fighter that fought our friend Gabe from Philadelphia, who fought on the undercard of the Mayweather fight. And Rosado is a guy that I use in camp for championship fights that I had at least 7 times. He's considered my protege. And he trains with Danny Davis in the gym with the weights as we speak today. So when you see guys fight their heart out, and I know I might be jumping another horse, but I'm gonna come back to what this real sit down is. And when you see guys that put their heart out and train hard and want to change things for their family and themselves, and then you see somebody else who in the same business that you into that got to do something, right? Everybody knows what they taking. We're grown men. When somebody gives you something to say, take this, and you don't question it, you should take full responsibility. There's no grown man should be able to say that only reason that I had this in my system because somebody gave me something to eat. Well, if somebody can give you something, then you don't know what you're taking, then somebody can poison you. Somebody can kill you. Are you a fucking idiot? So when I hear this stuff, man, it makes me fucking mad because when you see a guy that's doing it the right way, and you see these people sitting around and they nonchalant it until it backfires and to the point where you show that you're looking like you're supposed to be 48 years old or 50. But when you do something the right way, this country got a problem really with right. What's promoted is always wrong and negativity. The guy that's doing right gets no coverage. But the guy that's scudduggery, subterfuge, and deceit, that's the news. That's what country we live in. I can't change it. I'm just bold enough to speak about it. So we are hypocrites, including me. Because if this sells more than this, then why are we talking about positivity when we really don't mean that? What we mean is what sells. And what sells is subterfuge and deceit. Look it up. So here I am, a year and a half from being 50 time July 13th come. And I'm still taking names and whooping ass. And you telling me that's not a story because I'm in this secret world of boxer, like the secret world in the world? If you do the finger signs and the Masons and all that. So we live in our own secret world when the bullshit comes. But let somebody else, Italian, do what I did. Let somebody else that was Jewish do what I did. Let somebody else was Catholic do what I did. Let someone else in any other sport, Bernard, did and do what Bernard Hopkins do. I couldn't walk the street unless I had 30 bodyguards. Why? Because the demand for him will be so strong. And the coverage behind and the gods that rule who believes in this product and believes in that product is by what people read and people see. The media has a big, big voice in everything that goes on in this world, including sports. Because most people will take the glass or polluted water or clear water and they would drink it just because someone of status says it's the right thing to drink. And all I'm saying is this: when you have a situation where you have a guy or team that's doing something very unusual, you will see coverage that's justified. You'll see when the Miami Heat was almost ready to break a record. Why was that shoved down your throat in a good way every fucking day? Why was it important for the NBA to keep showing all the time that LeBron James and the Dream Team was ready to get 30 plus something win? Why wasn't they sport they thought that was so significant and so great? You know why? Because they got sense, not agendas. Only to promote what's ready to happen, and it's called history. Only in this sport. Only in this sport will you look like a freak because you're 48 years old and you're winning titles. Only in this sport, when you're doing something as long as anybody expect you to do it, is how long you going to do it. When you going to quit. When you going to retire. Wait a minute. Don't you understand that y'all are witnessing something that y'all might not see in your damn lifetime again? But I'll sit back and I'll humble myself. And I'll say to myself, I say, okay, forgive those who don't know. That what gets me through. No, seriously. Because maybe, forgive those who don't understand, because if they think that this can happen, maybe it can, maybe it will, maybe it wouldn't. If they think that this is something in our lifetime, I'm saying my lifetime too now, that this is going to be something that we're going to be covering over and over again, so, it's no big deal. We know somebody's going to get 20 defenses and stay in one weight class for 10 plus years. Oh, that's going to happen. We know somebody's going to fight till they're 48 years old. Maybe Florida's the closest one they can do that now. And he's undefeated. I think he's 35, 36. So maybe, he even said he won't, but maybe he'll stay another 10. Don't you understand how many years you got to stay in the game to even break that record?
12 more.
That's 12 more years. That's a long time, buddy, in this game of boxing. But nevertheless, it's no big deal. It's no big deal. But when I look at things like Dan and Bernard and everybody here, and this conversation has nothing to do with any point in anybody in boxing. This is now broad, right? This is broad. I'm going to use Lance Armstrong for a minute. And I've been using him a lot, even with the last fight. Because I'll piss in any bottle. I will give my stool if they need that, my spit. I will let them follow me around and see what I eat, which Comcast already did. They still show it every now and then on the archives. Matter of fact, they had something old on yesterday leading up to the Oscar De La Hoya fight. I watched it in the bed in the hotel yesterday. Lance Armstrong pulled the ultimate betrayal and the biggest con in sports history that I know of. I mean, he beat Pete Rose out and he was just gambling. There's a guy that we all know by admission who had the greatest empires of Nike and all the brands fooled, right? Right?
Yes.
Here's B-Hop, Bernard Hopkins, the executioner, with a story behind himself. No means I ain't perfect. But in this game of boxing, the way I live, I am super perfect. Super perfect when it comes to taking care of this body and taking care of myself. I wouldn't be here this long, y'all. You think I'm that good? I'm not that talented that way. Roy Jones was talented and 10 times more than me. Most of the fighters in my era, including the James Toney, them guys was more talented than me all around the board, and I'm not just being a nonchalant about my talent. But something that I understood from day one. You keep your body clean, your mind clean, and you don't get caught up in this bullshit that goes on with success, you will be all right. And I live by them codes, man. And that's why it's hard for these young fighters to beat a Bernard Hopkins here and even the physical, because I took care of my temple.